Hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. This is going to be a really weird one today. So before I get started with the whole transparency agenda, let me tell you what's going on. We are filming it live, filming this live directly in our usual Facebook video chat, but I'm also filming on my other computer, actually from our normal spot, for Google Hangout. So what I'm hoping for is that we'll have people commenting to us on Google Hangout. Where's the link? Actually, I might put the link. This is kind of cool if I can do this right. Da, da, da. I'll put the event page link. I'm going to give this on Facebook. So if you're a Facebook fan and you're watching this, it's so weird that you can do all this stuff now. The technology is amazing. I mean, the tech is amazing now. So I'll comment this here on Facebook. So if you are a fan, you're watching it, or if you're interested in seeing what we're doing on Google Hangout, you can check it out there. I think good Lord, I gotta put it everywhere. I put this ad up. This would have been so easy if I was smarter. It's never that easy. But hey, these things happen. So we're still getting other stuff started. I'm still getting everybody on here. I gotta put this thing up. If the Facebook camera falls, it falls. Just deal with it. I'll pick it up later. I'm just trying to make something very cool, very quickly. I'm still trying to get the stuff together since this is kind of like a last minute thing to go, when do I do this? You know what happens. Sometimes you think things sound like good ideas and you go, nah, I'll try it. What's the worst that could happen? So this is where I am right now with this. I'm also filling up time so everyone gets on so they can see what kind of craziness this is going to be about. But I'm pretty sure this is going to have a lot of craziness today, which I am very glad that we're going to be doing some crazy stuff on this one. So, like I said, I'm going to be talking about, I should have said the first part of the link. Jesus. It's going to be talking about a lot of interesting things on this. Don't worry, this is all going to work out in about 2 or 3 seconds. So, like I said, if you're just getting on, you don't know what's going on, I'm adding a link to everywhere I might have posted this up. This link that we normally do it on Facebook, as we all know. So now I'm doing my best to link in on all the posts, comments. Jeez, a lot of comments. Just in case you want to watch this on Google Hangouts, I want to ask questions since I want to be fair and let everybody have a chance to ask any questions. It's so much easier in my head. In my head, this was like, oh, this will be a piece of cake. This will be no problem. So we're getting this part together. Sorry, everybody. You got to hear the typing. Yes, I know it'll drive you all crazy. But I'm doing my best to do this as quickly as possible so we can get this up and running. And then we can get onto this lovely topic that's going to cause havoc and a lot of problems, because God knows what I'm going to be talking about is going to be pretty interesting, and that's the word I'm going to use with it today. Interesting. Boom. I'll do that right now. All right. So yeah, I've also turned on the volume so I don't hear anybody coming in and out. So okay. Yesterday, I was thinking about topics for today and what I was going to do for this week's transparency agenda, because transparency agenda, we always have a focus on what we're going to talk about. And something a friend said to me kind of got me interested, and I decided, okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about RPGs and why they cost so much. And this is kind of a continuation of a conversation I was having last Friday with some friends. So I'm not going to lie. A lot of people are going to be upset and pissed off. I'm going to say some things that are probably be highly controversial. We'll probably call out some people by specific name, even though they're friends. This is going to be one of those ones that's going to be highly controversial, highly polarizing, and I'm pretty sure after it's all said and done, there'll be some people who will be highly upset and some people who will understand what I'm trying to do here. And, my focus has been and always will be on this, is to tell the truth about what we do. We are trying to do cool stuff. We're trying to do interesting stuff. We're trying to do informative stuff, because that's why I do this. I don't do this, like I said, I don't get millions of dollars to do this. I think this is knowledge that's important. It's knowledge I didn't have when I first got into this whole scene of RPGs and doing it professionally. And I kind of like bumbled my way through it. So, it's one of those things that I'm just trying it any way I can. So I said, I hope this works out. I hope. I keep saying I hope, but it is what it is. So you guys can take it like that. So with all that said, let's talk about RPGs. The biggest problem I've noticed from people with RPGs always relates back to the price of RPGs, and people talking about, oh, wait, well, it's actually ties in. And people getting upset about why RPGs cost so much. There's no money in the hobby industry. You can't make any money. It's impossible. Da, da, da. I keep hearing this constantly. I've heard this since I started doing this. I've heard this since then. I keep hearing it. And it always makes me laugh when I hear it, because I know it's total garbage. And the reason I know it's total garbage is that if people didn't think that money was going to be made in this industry, they still wouldn't be involved with it. Because let's just call it like it is. If it doesn't make money, people don't care. If it doesn't make money, you're trying to make money, it doesn't make money, you get out of it, because these are businesses. Business's main focus is making money. If it doesn't make money, why would I do it? So when I hear that, when people say, oh, there's no money in this, you can't kid yourself, oh, no, no, no. So today on ICV2, that's Internal Correspondence version 2, those created by Martin Greep, who had Capital City Distributors. And this is back in the early 90s, mid 80s time. He ran it, and now it's turned into a website that is news. So if it's one of the news sites maybe you don't know about, but if you're not a comic book fan, maybe you've never heard of it. I've been involved in the comics, so I know about it. So today they announced Martin Greep, who's a well-known, well-respected person, well-informed, very much hands-on kind of guy in the industry. They listed today the hobby games market nearly $1.2 billion. Now, this information, I'm assuming, is coming from stores that they directly relate to and they get information from. And you can read the article. It's at ICV2 under the articles. It should still probably be on the front page. But I'll have a link, of course, below in the notes, and also on YouTube in the notes. It's so weird that single screen is throwing me off. So you'll be able to see the links for it and read this article. And they break it down. And here's the only part that really matters, the part that people are interested in. Here it is. They're breaking down the $1.2 billion in sales in gaming and where they go and who controls what. So collectible card games, retail sales is, and this is, I'm going to use roughly, but it's all rough, is roughly $625 million. So right off the bat, boom, collectible card games are half the gaming market. Boom, just think of that from now on. Boom, put that aside. Non-collectible miniatures games, $175 million. So Games Workshop, War Machine, those guys, boom. Hobby board games, $250 million. So, sounds like it says. Hobby card and dice games, $105 million. And rounding up the last part, role-playing games, $35 million in sales. And this is from 2015. This is from 2015. So, if you ever wondered how small the role-playing game market was, that's probably an eye-opening number. Realistically, role-playing games only make $35 million. Now we're talking. This is probably, and I'm gonna put some caveats on this, because this is really an estimate. You'll never really know for sure, but this is an estimate that you can think about where the information comes from. And then we're talking. This is the Hobby Channel, a mass market, and you can get more information about this on the same link. But you wonder, it's like, okay, this doesn't include PDF sales, which probably are not that much, or direct sales and things like that. So these numbers are skewed. By how much? I don't know, but I know they're going to be skewed. So that's what it is. So, and also today, what came out, another great piece. This is a good day for information, especially about business. The top 5 RPGs for spring 2006 came out. Number 1, Dungeons & Dragons, of course, not a big surprise. Number 2, Pathfinder, not really a big surprise. Number 3, Star Wars. Important license, not really that surprise. Number 4, Shadowrun. Kind of a surprise, but Number 5, a little bit of a surprise, but not really when you see all the work they've been doing lately. Fantasy Dragon Age Green Ronin. So the top 5. That's the top 5. Now, that being said, this is kind of a discussion we were having with some friends a couple of days ago, and it comes down to the question. It's like, okay, if the RPG industry is only 35 million, and you got to guess, I mean, easy guess, D&D generates what? $15 million? Yeah, $15 million out of that, probably. 15 million? That would be, a little less, close to almost half, Yeah. Pathfinder generates what? 3-4 million? Maybe 5? Up to 5? That's 20 million. Star Wars, Shadowrun, everything else makes the remaining, 15 million, everything else. So what does that tell you about the industry? Now, I gave you all these numbers. Also, here's a part I didn't mention, but this is kind of interesting and kind of like, whoa, I didn't expect this. And they're basically telling you like each category, how much they grew from 2014 to 2015. The smallest category, role-playing games, grew 40% from 25 million in 2014 to 35 million in 2015. The smallest one grew 40%. That's pretty impressive no matter where you go. 40% growth in anything is damn impressive. Non-collectible miniatures games grew 40%. The fastest growing rate were hobby, card, and dice games, which grew 75%. 75%. So these are numbers. These are not my numbers. I'm not making these numbers up. You can find them online. ICV2.com. Check them out. It's there. You can go check this out. These are numbers. These are legit numbers that are coming in. So there's money in this industry. Hobby games and the whole ball of wax, there's money. And in gaming, hey, 35 million. Let's say, let's be crazy. Let's say it's 45 million. Everything else, it's 45 million. Less than $50 million. 45 million. There you go. That's what RPGs make. That's what they do. That's the whole deal. That's it. That 45 million. That's what they're making. Now, this is where it comes into part of RPGs and how much they cost. And people are going to be like, well, still there's no money in there. Okay, look. It is not all of, it's not card games. I mean, card games, which is what I'm guessing it mean Magic, which I'm assuming has got to be like 300 million of that. It is not those numbers. It just isn't those numbers. That isn't, card games are probably 10 times as big. 10 times as big as D&D, probably, I'm guessing. Well, not just D&D, but just the whole RPG industry, probably. I don't think people would be surprised by that. That would not freak them out as a number. So that's something to think about. Now, let's get to the fun part. So the issue comes down to, once again, hey, I'm making a role-playing game, and I want to sell it. And this is pick up the conversation we had on Friday. How much money do I make selling it? And this is the part that is so messed up. All right. So why is it telling me this? I know that. So I start out. I make a role playing game. I make the role playing game. It costs me print, write, do the art, everything. Roughly $5 per book. And what I'm telling you now is how games are sold in this industry. It's supposed to cost me $5 to make. $5. All right. Well, I got to make some money in the book, so I've got to sell it to a distributor because I want to get to as many stores as possible because that's how you make the money, right? Right. Very, very normal. So I'll sell my copy of my book to my distributor for twice the price what it cost me to produce. It cost me $5. I'm going to sell to the distributor for 10. 10. $10. Distributor bought it. Now I've sold it. Ooh, I've cashed my check. I've doubled my money. I'm good to go. 100%. But now the distributor's got to sell it to the retailer. The distributor like me wants to make some money on this. The distributor says, hey, I'm going to sell for 50% for double what I paid for it. Remember, they paid 10. Now they're going to sell for 20. Hey, that's a good deal. Hey, double your money once again. Everybody happy, 20 bucks, boom. Now the retailer gets it in his hands. And retailers are like, well, I bought this book for 20 bucks. I got to make some money on this. So what can I do? Well, for me to make back, double my money what I paid, got to make back the money I paid plus a little bit extra for me, it goes to $40. Ta-da! $40 book, RPG selling on the shelf. Happens all the time. All the time. All the time. And you see it a lot. You see it a lot from all over. I think you see it a lot. It's to the point where it's just, that's what it accepts. 40 bucks, okay, 40 buck game. I'll buy it, no problem, boom. I have tons of books on my shelf that did the same thing, So it's not a surprise to see this. Not a surprise at all. What is a surprise is that people come back and they say, oh, you can't make a cheap RPG. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. Well, no, it's not impossible. The problem that becomes with making a game like this is that everybody's got their finger in the pie, getting it from you to the end consumer. It comes from me. I create it. I then sell it to a distributor. Distributor sells it to a retailer. Retailer then sells it to a customer. And during this line, everybody gets paid some amount of money. Now, I've heard people say that, well, RPGs don't make enough money because it's not, they need to cost more to make a bigger profit. Well, yeah, that would be a crazy mindset if I could, to me, that's the dumbest idea ever. See, here's the problem, and here's where it's going to get ugly. The biggest problem between making the product and selling the product is not the manufacturer. It's the distributor and the retailer. Now, some people are like, whoa, what are you saying? Retailer is important. Kinda. See, here's the problem. Retailers have always had, and distributors have always had, the control over the market for RPGs. There was no way other than going that direct route to sell your product in mass quantities to people getting it out. That did not, before, hell, when I got in 2000, there was no other way to do it. No way. Didn't happen, couldn't happen, you didn't have a choice. And I know when I did Haven City of Violence, we made 3,000 copies. We got pre-orders, I think it was like 1,700. That's what the original was. So, we made a little bit of money, and I think we might have covered the print run, or maybe like a little bit less than what the print run cost. And then, we had, 1,300, 1,300 left over we had to sell. Now, this is where it's going to get ugly and painful. Any retail store will tell you, and I've heard this, you've heard this on my show, you've heard it online, is that most retailers are looking to get at least 3 turns of a book. And if you don't know what a turn is literally a book comes in and it sells. So 3 times a year, three times a year, they expect to get 3 turns, 3 sales out of a product. So product comes in, sells. Product comes in, sells. Product comes in, sells. 3 turns in a year. That's a fair, good selling product. The problem is that new companies don't get that. New companies will never get that because they're new. Well, that's not never. That's not the wrong term. The majority of companies will not get that just due to the fact it's a new product, never heard of. It's hard to get on the shelves, hard to get the pitch, hard to get people interested. The whole it's a bevy of things that are happening, and this is we're talking about a new non-system product. This is just talking about that right now, and then we're going to talk about other like related stuff. But that is very, very common. It's very tough to move from new products. It is. If you're new and never heard of, it's going to be tough for you to move. You got to find some way to get people interested in hearing about you, that kind of thing. Find some way to get people excited about it or something. So what people usually do, and I'm sure a lot of you've seen this, is that people will go and do D20 type of game, OGL game, Pathfinder, and now 5e. So you put that on your book, it's going to help sell. People will probably buy more, and that's the whole thing. So, and this has been pretty much the standard since the beginning of time. This has been the standard. This is what happened. This is what people did, and this is how it's been. Until Kickstarter came about. And when Kickstarter came about, initially it was one of those odd things that people didn't know what it was at first. And, you know, there were a lot of guys who jumped on it really early, got in very early. Gareth Skarka did Far East, got very early into it, put himself down, raised $50,000. People got excited. They saw this Kickstarter thing. What a great idea. Even before that, there was like, they were doing ransom games. There was an old magazine that used to come out called Business 2.0. They talked about the whole ransom, and actually an article though, I thought that was hilarious because, you know, gamers started it. I think it was Greg Stoltz who did like this first one. He asked for like $1,000 to see if he's going to release this game. If it didn't get $1,000, he'd never release it. And they had a certain time period they were going to do, and it was kind of like a pre-Kickstarter, and that's kind of how it developed. And, you know, that's what he did. I think it's him. I could be wrong. I have to check in the magazine if I ever find it. But it's like, you know, it's one of those weird little things. Like, holy cow, kind of cool. Fast forward now to Kickstarter. Kickstarter has now become the place that people can get fans, if they have fans, and get the people interested in the product they're doing, get the promotion, get it out there. But people keep saying, you know, I've had retailers saying, "Oh, Kickstarter, I don't understand. Kickstarter is, you know, taking our customers." And that's a phrase I heard a lot from retailers. Kickstarter is taking our customers, which I don't get that. I don't understand how they're your customers. You know, there's a line from my favorite TV show, The Wire, and it's from Omar, and he's talking about this guy. He's basically robbing these guys, and this guy says, "You know, you're taking my money." He's like, "Money ain't got no owners, just spenders." And I think that's kind of the way it needs to be, and I think that's a thought process. I think some people get, these are my customers, and you're getting your Kickstarter out there, and you're taking my customers away. And it's like, no, I'm taking customers. They're not your customers. You don't have them hostage. They're customers. They're free to go with their money anyway. But people have that whole mindset, you know, because let's be honest, for 30 years, they've held them hostage like this. And now that is no longer the case. Because, you know, if you do a successful Kickstarter, or even a kind of successful Kickstarter, you can kickstart, or even as they kick finish, whatever project you're working on to get the money coming in to do a print, or you can sell direct. Because, and this goes down to a whole margins thing. When the margins are looked at by selling direct, you can do some really cool things with the prices. Where's the book? All right. For everybody who doesn't know, let me put this up. This is a thing I've downloaded. I've had it for years. It's from 2010, February. It's a great piece. Find it online. Fixed to Flexible. It talks about pricing, and it's like 4 simple lessons about cost, pricing, margins, and the option available in 21st century business. I bring this out a lot and read this all the time. I got an old copy. It's all dogged up. You know, I love reading it. It's very short. It's only 37 pages. And I'm talking, when I use 37 pages, I'm talking, it's like, this is a page. You know, like one page like this. There's tons of information that you can use to think about your business and really think about what's, the title's backwards? No. Okay. Some people on here are trying to be cute, but some people don't understand what's going on. So I'm gonna talk over them and let them smile and be foolish. You have to really look at this differently. You really got to look at this completely different. See, forever people have been telling you need to sell in the stores, you need to sell in the stores, you need to sell in the stores. And then you didn't ask the question, why? Why do I need to sell into stores? Well, you're going to need to get the most amount of people who want to see it. Yeah, that's why you sell in the stores. Except that isn't true anymore. Let me give you a great example of that, and you tell me if I'm wrong. There was a Kickstarter recently that did incredibly well. It did so well. Let's actually look it up. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but I'm sure you're going to figure out really quickly. This Kickstarter did so well that no one in their right mind thought it would ever do this well, including me. Because when I heard who was doing it, I'm like, oh, that's good. It should be a good Kickstarter. It should do well. People liked it. It should do very, very well. Well, let's see how well it did. Because I know how well it did, because I watched it in amazement that it did so well. Now, what I'm talking about is the incredibly, massively successful 7th C second edition. 7th C initial pledge goal was $30,000. It then jumped, and I mean, let's just call it like it is. It jumped to numbers that really are, look, I'm going to be honest, are crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy. I am sorry. John Wick's a friend. I call him a friend. I've known John for a while. John knows me. I think it's insane. This one thing went from a $30,000 ask on Kickstarter to $1.3 million. Let's just call it like it is. I had a copy of 7th Sea. Had it on my bookshelf. I looked at it like twice. I don't know too many people had a copy of 7th Sea. I also had a copy of L5R. I'm pretty sure there are tons of people with copies of L5R. But 7th Sea, I don't know. I don't think it was that big. I don't think it was that big. I really don't. I just don't think it was that big. But apparently, it was big enough. This was big enough to generate, $1.3 million in people buying it. And we're talking nearly 11,500 backers. He was 17 short from that. Just 17 short from that number. 11,000. Well, total was 11,483 backers. It sounds crazy when I say that, but that's how many people back this. And I mean, it is amazing to me. Those numbers are that high. I mean, no one ever saw that coming. No one ever saw that coming. No one. No, everybody tells you, said, oh, yeah, I knew 17 was going to be hit. Shut up. You are a liar and you know it. If you said L5R, yeah. Card game that people love. Role-playing game people love. Did, a fan base for a long time. But 7th Sea? No, come on. No way. No way. No way. But it did. It raised all that money. And I know there were retailers who were saying, this is unfair. They legitimately said, this is unfair. We should get a part of that money. We would be selling that product in our stores if we could. And I always love to hear that story because that's, as I know, is total garbage. Because there are tons of people come out with new products that are out in the shelves, that are out there, and people are interested in them. They want to play them. They want to get them. They never reach shelves. And sometimes it's the store. Sometimes it's the store saying, oh, yeah, we would have picked it up. And they never pick it up. They ain't never pick it up. They ain't never. And other times, the distributor. Because here's a little story about a distributor I dealt with. I'm going to call him by name. Business support. So when I was working with Alliance and I was getting my stuff into stores, I'd have stores once in a while write me and say, hey, I want to order your product. And I'm like, okay, great. If you're interested in my product, you can find it at Alliance. You can get it there and get it. But then I'd get people then write me back, not many, but people would be like, hey, I called distributor Alliance, and they said they didn't have any in stock. And I'd be like, oh, that's not right. I know they should have some in stock because I sent them so many. So they should have some in stock. My salesperson at Alliance was not the most attentive person. I called them, constantly left them messages, tried to hunt them down. And I got to a point where I just said, hey, I've got people who want to buy my product and you're not selling it to them and you're holding on to my product and you're charging me to hold on to it. What's going on? I don't understand what the problem is. Like, well, it was a missed order and people forget and things happen. I was like, okay, no problem. So then I found out from a very good friend of mine that there was software that Alliance gives retailers to log in to their account to order directly from them. Saves a lot of time. I thought it was very, very smart. So I went online and I just shipped out some books to Alliance. So I know I sent them, it was a few hundred books, nothing big, but enough that I knew there's product readily available. So I asked my buddy to go on, check it, and see if he could find it on there. And he went on there, and it said my products were out of, they were out of stock, completely out of stock. And like I told you, I just sent them a package, and this is days after, and there should have been no way in the world that they should have been out of stock. We had product there. They were shipping them more product. It was not out of stock. So it listed it was out of stock. So then I said, okay, this is ridiculous. So I called them up again and said, hey, what's your current count on my products that you have in there? And they're like, oh no, we've got a full supply stock. Don't worry, it's got there. People can get it if they want it. I'm like, well, that's BS because we checked online and it's not listed and this is a problem and what is going on? And they're like, oh, I don't understand what's going on. This doesn't make any sense. Da, da, da. And I said, okay, this is what we can do. Let's just handle this the old-fashioned. Why don't you give me an access code to the same software the retail stores have, and I can go on and look and see what my product levels are, and then I can check and see if there's any problems. And at first there was some kind of ooh, I don't know if we want to do that. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to do that? it'll stop me from bothering you every 5 seconds about calling and and it gives me the access numbers. And if somebody needs stuff, I can tell them, hey, yeah, we have this many in stock at this location. You can get them order from there. Why would you not want to help me sell more product? I don't know. And like I said, this happened. So eventually they said, okay, yeah, we'll give you the access to it. And then, I was trying to push product, and it just became a futile affair, at least in my eyes. So, I really thought it was just kind of a waste. It's like, oh, okay. And then the salesperson I was dealing with, they finally got fired, and that just got me a bad taste in my mouth. And I just said, okay, this is silly. Why am I spending all this time and effort and all this, time having my product at Alliance and paying like basically fees to have them hold it for me when they weren't trying to sell it? So I was like, this is stupid. I told them, send it all back to me. I'll take care of it. And I did. And I thought it was just a waste of time. Everything about it was a waste of time. I felt pissed. I felt just really upset about the whole situation. And I just said, never again. I'll never sell distribution ever again. It's a dumb idea. It worked 30 years ago, but you didn't have a choice. But now you do have a choice, because now things have changed radically. Print on demand has changed everything. And with that, you can find ways to do better for yourself. And this is what I tell people. Anybody starting in this business, if you're starting a new company, or if you want to really make good money, always look at the margins. The margins where the money becomes important. Like I told you when I first started, if you make a book for $5 and the next guy you sell it for is $10, you can only make $5 in that book. That's the best you can get. But if you can make a book for $5 and sell it to your customer, the end person at the end, for $25, you make $20 on that. Now all of a sudden the economics change drastically. So, for every product one I sell, I'm going to make $20. Who wouldn't sell directly to the customer? I mean, that's just easy. And the best part about it all, when we're doing the retailer sales was $40. I'm selling that same book for $25. It's $15 less than what the book should be selling for. There's just so many people in the process of getting money in the product of people. They all take a little bite. Everybody takes a little nibble. I just want to wet my beak, is what the term is I always hear. I just want to wet my beak. This is the dumbest thing ever. I got to get through all these guys to sell a product that's one person. Why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. And people are still doing it. And stores are still trying to be the gatekeepers to, this is how it should be done, and this is how it should be, and the Kickstarter's not a good idea. And I've seen people, including myself, who've tried to find ways to get guys in the retail level involved with a Kickstarter by giving them an easy access point. I know for myself, we gave them the best, easiest access point possible. We told everybody, and this is my last 2 Kickstarters I did, and I think a couple stores signed up for, actually I can check it out real quick. A couple stores signed up for the first one, and the second one, not so many. To the point where I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't think it was going to be this low. We offered a $2 level. This is for retailers only, $2. Basically, it reserved you a certain amount of books at a certain level, which would be, of course, told later. And on Crisis of the World Eater, which is our newest Kickstarter, we had 4 stores sign up for that. 4. Let me see what Neo Exodus did, so I can give you a good perspective. Neo Exodus. Oh, we didn't even have it on Neo Exodus. No, it was Obsidian Apocalypse we had it on. Did we have Obsidian Apocalypse? I can't even remember. I think it was Obsidian Apocalypse. Or maybe I didn't do it. Maybe that's when the idea came from. Yeah, that's the idea came from. Okay. I thought I did it in, I swear I did it on Neo Exodus. Maybe it's on the other level. But yeah, the $2 was the way to make it, Oh, that's right. We actually gave them, and this is a little different. We gave a retailer level of 4 copies of the softcover black and white shipped to them for $60. The 4 copies of the black and white, so that's $15 a book. And where's the other one we did? And then we also gave a retail level of $70 to get the softcover full color edition for $70. That was $10 more. We didn't get any for that one. And then we did an exclusive 2 copies of black and white and 2 copies of full color for $90. And we got 2 people who signed up for that. So all in all, we had, 8 backers at the retail level. And this is when we were charging them, a lot more. On the $2 level, we said, hey, man, reserve it for $2. If you don't like it, you just spent $2. It's not going to break you. And that was something that I noticed a lot of people start doing on their Kickstarters. And it was just one of those things that it just kind of worked out that way. And I'm very surprised that more retailers didn't take advantage of it. Because to me, it's like, I want to sell you product that you can sell to your customers that you can get money from. Why would I not want to sell this stuff to you? Why would I not try to give you a good rate? But those things happen, and let's look at 7th Sea. Let's take a look at 7th Sea since I'm here. Let's see, as I don't know what their retail level for it was, but let's find out. Let's see how many retailers really supported that. Because, this is important. It's kind of an important situation. Where do the retailers fall in this, love of what we're doing? Love of the small guy. All right. Is that the first one? Holy cow, that was the first one. All right. At the merchant prince level, retailers can pick up the 7th Sea book. They get 4 copies of the 2nd edition for their store for $120. Let's see if we can see the actual number of people picked it up. This is kind of interesting. 120. Didn't include 120. 200, 200. All right, the merchant level. The merchant level at $120, $40 a book. 74 backers. Now, I don't know if they're all stores. I'm going to assume they're all stores, but 74 backers paid for that. The same guys who said they didn't want to spend a lot of money because they didn't want to tie stuff up. Okay. And I've heard it from all different sides. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say that was right or wrong or whatever, but it is what it is. So, like I said, that's a lot of people. That sounds like a lot of people to me. I think it's a lot of people, but maybe I'm missing something. But I don't know. Let's look at the other retail level if I can actually get this number right. Retailer 120, and the next one was 450. Let's see how many people purchased the 450 level. But I'm kind of interested. It's like for 1.3 million. Some people signed up for it, so I'm not surprised you're going to see some names of people who signed up. Actually, there's no level for it. That's kind of interesting. 120 for merchant. Retailers can add on this level. 450. All the book add-on. Oh, maybe that's an add-on. That's just an add-on. That's not even a level. So 120. That's that level of 74 at 120. Anyone do the quick math on that? 120, 74. So it's nearly what? $1,000? Oh boy, your math is off. 10? No, that can't be right. Is that how much money they were making? So now I'm thinking because I can't do any math in my head right now because I'm doing 3 other things. So let's have some fun. 72 times 120. Was it 120 we said? Yes. $8,640. That many retailers, or supposed retailers, signed up for that. So, there's some people whose Kickstarters are not that high. So retailers are interested. They're willing to spend money sometimes. They saw this and they saw this going up, and they didn't want to miss out. And I don't know if this even went into retail. So I don't know. So, but they thought it was a good product. They liked it. They saw the number and they wanted to be part of it. And that's what happened. And hey, more power to John Wick. I want to see, L5R. That's the one I want to see. But more power to him. And this same thing also happened with Cards Against Humanity. Those guys avoided retail. They didn't have to. They knew they had a good product. They knew they were going to sell it to the people, and the people wanted to buy it, and they loved it, and they sold it to them. And they bypassed retail, and retailers have freaked out about it. They've been screaming, no, come on, you got to sell to us. You got to give us a little taste. And it's like they all want to taste after success. They don't want to take the risk. They don't want to take the risk because they know it's not returnable. So whatever they make a risk, they got to sell it. They got to find some way to sell it, or they got to eat it, either one or the other. But they don't want to take a risk. They want a sure thing, and they want manufacturers to take all the risk. At the same time, they don't want you to be risky. They don't want you to sell PDFs and stuff. And they don't want you to build subscription bases like what Paizo has done, selling the books directly to their customer. Because Paizo knows, like anybody knows, if you win those margins, you're going to win the war. And the margins become very, very important when you need to make money. You know, retailers will tell you what you think the numbers are. Then you might have, but that might only be like 30% of the story. What if it's only 40% of the story? You sell to for every retailer I sell to, I'm only making $5. For every customer I'm selling to, and this is the same theory, I'm making $20. Which one would you want to sell to? This ain't rocket science. So and the system's broken. The system is very broken. And we as publishers get involved in this in the same thing. Yes, Mr. Negline said, everyone wants to be the second person in line for the next cool thing. Yeah, everybody does want to be the second person in line for the next cool thing. The problem is no one knows what the next cool thing is. You don't know until it's the next cool thing. And by the time that's all happened, it's already moved on. You can't ever catch the wave. Things that do well that you can't explain. If someone told me Pokemon Go was going to be so huge in less than 4 days, I'd be like, you're crazy. I don't get it. But once again, I didn't play it. I never played it. I didn't get it, so it didn't matter to me. But somebody made a bunch of money on that because they picked the right time and they made some money and they went right directly to their customer base. Once again, going directly to your customer base. None of this. I went to the distributor and then I went to the retailer and then I got no. They said screw all that. I'm going to go to the customer and provide the great service I can give them, make them happy, and turn them into fans. Once again, converting them to fans, giving the fans what they need, and having the fans come back to you. That's been my business model from day one on Drive-Thru and RPG Now and basically any digital sales. Make the fan base come back to you over and over, and they will support you for the rest of your life. People always tell me, Alex said, there's no money in this. There's no money in this. I remember in 2004 when I made $1,600 a month selling, as a buddy of mine always said it, light to people. Digital light. Zeros and ones. That's how I was selling them. And we generated enough money that it paid for a car from it easily and a bunch of money left over for me. And, let's be honest. If you're a one-man shop, two-man shop, three-man shop, you could probably do it. You could probably work the same plan, focus on building the customers, building on that, selling direct to them, and you could do very well. That's why so many people are doing their own mailing lists. That's why so many people are doing their own sales on their website, because they know one sale on their website is equal to like 3 sales in retail. But no one wants to tell a retailer, oh, I don't want to sell your product. I don't want to give you any product to sell. Because, of course, you want to sell wherever you can. But at the same time, I don't see the need, or no, that's not even the right words. I don't see the commitment for them to help sell my product. I see the commitment for them to not to make money off my product, but to sell it, to promote it, no. We did Free RPG Day 2 years in a row. It was a great thing. I still think it's a great thing. I just don't think the retailers cared. I don't think the retailers cared. It's not like Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day, comics are also a different business. Every month or every Wednesday, a new product comes out and they get people to come. And they're continuing series and the stories, and people they find a character they like and they keep following them and following them and following them. And then other stuff they follow. Games don't have that same kind of effect, especially RPGs. I think you can do that on the book side of stuff and that kind of stuff. You're going to do like ebooks or even traditional print books. You can kind of develop maybe a weekly release schedule where you get people used to coming and used to giving you dollars or, the 99 cents for an ebook, whatever it is. There's ways to do that, but it just needs a lot of work. I mean, the system is broken, and too many people are in the system saying, no, nothing's wrong. The system's great. The system's great. No, the system is broken. The system is broken. Selling to retailers as a small publisher, as a startup publisher, is a waste of your time. It is an absolute waste of your time. And don't fall for that trick. I did. I fell for that trick. Not once, not twice, several times. And I've just said, years ago, I just said, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't have the need. I don't have the want to support them. I've had a company, I had a well-known company say, hey, I want to carry some of your books in my store. He's like, what kind of cut can you give me? And I gave him a decent cut. He's like, oh, no, I'd want a little bit more. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, because I'm buying direct from you. I got to make some money on this. And it's like, okay. It's like the product he wanted, I was going to sell him for it was like $12 a book. And he would be selling them for $30. And he still wanted a bigger cut than that. And I was like, forget it. I'm not doing that. And I just thought it was crazy. I was just like, wow, man, I'm giving you a better deal than what you get from Alliance that only gives you 40% off the cover, usually. I was giving you more like 66% off, and he didn't think that was good enough. And that's why I was like, I don't even care. That's why I'm like, I don't care about selling to them because it doesn't. Well, it was almost 66, whatever. But it didn't feel like they even cared. They was looking to buy something cheap to sell and make a big profit and whatever. And if it did well, hey, great, that's great. But they didn't have my best interest in hand. So that's how we are with that one. So I'm just, I'm perturbed. I'm beyond perturbed, really. I'm really upset by it. It's just, and this has become a very common thing. So any new people out there, any new publishers, if you want to sell to stores, hey, chase that siren. Chase that siren and hope you don't get smashed against the rocks. But I'm avoiding that with all costs. My main goal and focus, and it sounds bad, but hey, it is what it is. My main goal is selling to the customer because that's where the money is. And the whole concept of that's my customer. That's whoever customer you can help get the product to them and make them happy. That's who owns that customer. If it's you, if it's me, if it's them, or that, whatever. It's a fight, and you got to get every piece of the customer you got to, and that's the way it is. So, some people are going to watch this and get upset and be like, "Oh, you're anti-retailer." I'm like, nope, not anti-retailer. I'm anti me losing money on a product where I can make more profit on it. I'm anti not having great margins. That's what I'm anti. Got to have great margins. Got to have great margins. Got to look at a product with great margins. Let me give you a little story to think about. So, going back to my little book, I got to find the story. And I was reading it to a friend of mine last night. And when they heard it, or when she heard it, she thought it was amazing. But I thought this is something that you could check out. Now, remember, this is from February 2, 2010. This is a short little story called The Falling Cost of Bits. Netflix ships 2.2 million DVDs every day. All for the round-trip ticket cost of those discs is 84 cents. Pay attention to that. This is going to be important. Netflix will spend close to $600 million this year getting those discs to their customers. That gives the movie rental company a pretty big incentive to pursue alternative delivery methods. All right, this is where it gets kind of interesting. The cost to stream the same gigabyte of Hollywood magic over the internet, 5 cents. If Netflix can convert 10% of their volume from postal to digital, $60 million falls from the bottom line. Now, I want you to think about what I just said. If they mail it, it's 84 cents. If they send it to you digitally, it's 5 cents. And this is 6 years ago. So I'm sure this price is probably down to maybe even like 3 cents now. But think about that for a second. Think about the savings. Remember, 10% of the company makes $60 million in their pocket. I'm sure you're wondering, why is Netflix want to put us on digital? Why are they pushing so hard to put people on digital? This is why. This is why they're pushing so hard. Because the economics of them change tremendously great. 5 cents or 84 cents? Which one do you think they want to push? It's just, and that's just 10%. That's just 10%. Well, that's $60 million with just 10%, and they didn't do anything different. Let me get this. This is from Alan. It's cool when small publishers can work off of each other and promote each other's work, like yourselves and DreamScard Press, even though you compete with some of the same customers. Yeah, Alan, we do compete for the same kind of customers, but we kind of don't. See, at least in my vision, the people who are going to buy DreamScard Press know he's got a niche, know he's got psionics, know that. They've cornered that market. Me as a smart guy, work with them. If I do psionics, why am I going to try to build my own psionics? Use their psionics. They've already built a fan base that already likes psionics. Get their fan base to buy mine because I'm doing psionics based on the same stuff they've done. They've made a mini market from me. I will show them some new stuff and we haven't seen. I use them to write the stuff. That helps make it even more legitimate. It becomes this whole big circuit, goes round, around, 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 and we both get more new customers. We both get more fans. So once again, build a fan base, fan base, fan base, fan base. Fan base will take you and do things for you better than anything else. They are there to help you. You need to give, and hope, just hope It's like Gary Vee says, just hope that they return it to you. That's why I do these videos. I mean, look, I do these videos. I'm giving you information. It's free. It's 100% free. You can watch these videos. You can watch them anytime you want. You can see them on YouTube. You can see them on Facebook. You can take the knowledge I'm giving you. You can make money at this. There are people who use the things I've told them and have made very good money on that. And it's free. Free, 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 free. I just give it. I just give it. I just give it. I give it. And why? At the hopes that people will say, wow, he gave so much. Maybe I'll check out something for him. That's why I do this. That's why I do this. You know, this is what I do. So, that's it. All right. It's been a long night. I hope you all digest this. I hope this worked well on Google Hangouts. I hope this is actually pretty good. I'd like to maybe do some more of this. Maybe, I don't know, but I think it's a cool idea if I can get both of these like this and see if this becomes a new thing. But we'll see. You know how that goes. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Oh, as always, we'll have more information in the bottom, and I'll try to give me cool notes. I put a couple of cool notes on this one. There's a lot more. There's a lot of talking this time. This is a big talking episode. That's what I'll call it. My big talking episode. No, that's what I'm calling it. But you know, there's a lot of information that people can find and use, and I hope I'll put the link up for Fix the Flexible, so you guys can pick up a copy. I think if you read this, even though it's 6 years old, it's still pretty innovative and pretty just amazing to think about. And it really talks about a lot of stuff I find interesting. So also, as always, go to our YouTube page, sign up for subscriptions. Very important. I keep telling everybody, please sign up for subscriptions. We keep getting more people. Thank you as always. But the more people we get, the better it's for our analytics, the better it's for us in the long run. Please do us a huge favor and just sign up as a subscription. It's very, very important. All right, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to turn this one off, but this is all done. So thank you as always, and thank you for support. See, it's so weird. I look at 3 different cameras. As always, thank you for support, and I'll talk to y'all later.